and see what become of his dream. And they would have killed him, but his older brother Reuben said, don't kill him, but let's take that coat of many colors that our father made for him, dip it in some animal blood, send it back to our daddy, and tell him that our brother got killed. But in the meantime, we can make some money off him by selling him to the Ishmaelites. They sold him to the Ishmaelites, and the Ishmaelites carried him into Egypt, and they sold him to one named Potiphar. Potiphar saw that he was a goodly fella, and he put him over the affairs of his house. But Miss Potiphar lived in the realm of the carnal, and she thought, I got to have this fine young Jewish boy. And as she tried to get him to betray his master's trust, he said, I'm not going to do it. So he had to run for his life. He ran and he left his coat behind. She took the coat and lied on him. And Potiphar had him put in prison. But while he was in prison, he met the king's butler and he met the baker. And they had dreams. And he interpreted the dreams. He told the baker, in 3 days, your head's going to be lifted from your body. But he told the butler that when the king calls for you, in 3 days, he's going to give you your job back. And when things go well with you, remember me. But the butler forgot about Joseph, and the king had a dream. And then the butler said, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, king, there's a Jewish boy by the name of Joseph that I met in prison. In him is the wisdom of the God of heaven, and I want you to know that he can interpret your dream. And when Joseph got through interpreting the dream, Pharaoh put a chain of gold around his neck and made him the second ruler in the kingdom, and said, everything that happens now, they've got to come by you. My God, and then the dream came through. His brothers had to come down to Egypt and bow before him in order to get bread, because there was no corn in the land. Ooh. But it came to pass that their father, Jacob, died. And when Jacob died, his half-brothers felt like he was going to take out vengeance upon them. But I hear him when he said, you meant it for evil, but God intended it for good. If I hadn't been a dreamer, you never would have hated me. If you never hated me, you wouldn't have put me in the pit. If you hadn't hated me, you wouldn't have sold me into slavery. If you hadn't sold me, I never would have met Potiphar. If I never met Potiphar, I never would have met his wife. If I hadn't met his wife, I wouldn't have ended up in prison. If I hadn't ended up in prison, I never would have met Pharaoh. And if I hadn't met Pharaoh, I wouldn't be the second ruler in Egypt. Yeah, but it was all working to bring about my day. And I want to tell you, I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what you've been through. But I want to tell you, your day will come. Hang on in there. Your day is coming. You may be weeping through a long night of sorrow, but weeping may endure for night. But hold on till morning. Joy, unspeakable joy is coming.